Hi, everybody. We're happy to be sharing with you another program, and today we're gonna grateful and honor our Belgium audience, sharing with you a masterpiece by the great composer Cesar Frank. We want to thank you all in Belgium for following us, for be listening us, and I hope you enjoy it as much as we will. Anes angelicus, fit panis hominum, panis celicus, figuris terminum. Ores mirabilis, aducat Dominum, oper, oper, servus et humilis. Pauper, pauper, servus et humilis. Anis angelicus, fit panis hominum, panis celicus, figuris terminum. Ores mirabilis, aducat Dominum, pauper, pauper, servus et humilis. Pauper, pauper, servus, servus et humilis.
Thank you very much, and thanks people in Belgium for having followed us very constantly. People in Belgium account for almost 50% of our viewers in YouTube. Thank you very much for your, and we try to give you some music in return. More specific, Katia is giving us this present in return for the appreciation of people in Belgium. And well, throughout the whole program, I think the spirit of people in Belgium will be present, even though we're about to change to another country. But from the people that I know from Belgium are always very kind, very warm, very open. There are so many positive adjectives that I have for people in Belgium. So I think that will be the spirit of, and of course, we will also have lots of fun. Because if we don't have fun, then it is not we love singing. And today, if you saw the title of our program, I said Mozart forever. We have shared with you in the past that Mozart has a very special place in our hearts. Uh, for me, even though my voice is of course very 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 far from the tessitura that Mozart demands, and we are about to talk about it also. But I also, let me remind you that Katia has shared with us in the past that her favorite composer is Mozart, and how can it not be? I spent a good number of hours today in the morning trying to find the right words to describe Mozart, and the truth is I don't think I found the best words because for me Mozart is, I don't know, I have to share with you in the past that it is like this so perfect composer that somehow managed to put everything in its place and give us sometimes very short melodies, but very lovely as well. So it's not a matter of duration. In specific, I am sharing with you the score of Le Nozze di Figaro, as we know it, the marriage of Figaro, which some people think it's the Il Barbero di Sevilla because we also have Figaro here, and it is true that the two are based on the same. I was about,
Character?
yeah, on the same character by Beaumarchais. So it is basically, yes, it is the same Figaro, even though in two different stories and two different composers. And as in the case of Le Nozze di Figaro, which are the two parts that I will be singing, Katia is going to share also some surprises a little ahead. Um, I don't know. I don't know if I would like to maybe start sharing with you something that people may not have paid lots of attention. People knows that Le Nozze di Figaro is about the I would like to find kind words, but I don't think there are kind words to describe it. In Spanish, it is called el derecho de pernada. I found that in English and for some reason in French, moreover in French, it is called le droit du seigneur, which means that the rich man who happens to have servants, has the right to have, when one of his servants is getting married, he has the right of having the first night of sex with the wife rather than the
Yeah.
husband himself, which is absolutely horrible to describe. I really gave much thought on it when I was working on the Mexican song Borrachita, which I have in another playlist, the 50 music postcards. You can find La Borrachita there, because I could say that very innocently, I have never thought until I studied it deeply that La Borrachita is exactly in a, if you allow me to do some parallel, the composition of La Borrachita is also a denounce. That practice is somehow criticized in Mexico, that in the early 1900s we still had those behaviors by the hacendados, and it was allowed to proceed like that. But more than a century before, Mozart decided to do the same. Of course, we have fun with Le Nozze di Figaro, but if you pay attention to the whole libretto, in fact, he's also putting everything on stage to show that it is just not right. Maybe it will make us laugh, we will have a nice time watching it, but very deep, he's telling Mozart, very ahead of his time, he's telling us that cannot be right. And the the Lord who wants to do it must be punished, or he has to learn a lesson somehow. That's in fact the lesson that is taught to us by Mozart. So many people, and in fact, they call it that it is one of the buffa operas because it's funny. But I must insist, if you pay attention to this thing that he's doing, it is not, well, maybe the sense of the music and the character is very light and it's like buffo, but in very deep, he's saying no, we shouldn't be doing it. That's for the serious part. Now, tell me, Katia, for you, what comes to your mind when you think of Le Nozze di Figaro?
Well, it has a special place in my heart because a few programs ago, I told you that this Susanna's area was one of the first that I sang approaching to opera. Oh my God, I forgot the name. Help me! Ah,
Don't worry, for that purpose, we have, because I don't know the name of, there are so many beautiful melodies in here that every 5 minutes you
yeah,
have at
yeah,
least a
that's why
very
I'm getting.
brief, um,
But I
for
can read.
Se vuol ballare signor continuo, which is very
No, no,
short
no.
but lovely.
She sings. saying that she's waiting for Figaro.
Porgi amor?
No, no, no.
No, 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 Porgi amor es la
Susana.
contessa.
Yeah, Susana. Che godrò senza affanno in braccioli del mio. Timide cuore uscite dal mio petto, a turbar non venite il mio diletto. Oh, come par che all'amoroso fuoco l'amenità del loco la terra e il ciel risponda. Deviene non tardar.
Yeah, de viene non
That,
tardar. And I cannot
yeah, yeah,
find
yeah.
it. Can you believe that? Where do I have de viene non tardar? Partly because I don't have my glasses on. I don't have my glasses on.
Well, I have mine, but they're not working.
Where do I have de viene non tardar?
But it's a lovely piece because she's singing with such love, but such tender and caress, and imagine that you're expecting your beloved person and thinking about setting a flower crown on his forehead or her forehead. uh, it's sweet, it's lovely, and it was my first aria, and it's very special for me. Like you just said, Mozart, it's my favorite composer on earth. I would say that he's my crush. But and I'm totally um, grateful that my voice matches with his music so much. I really enjoy every single area that I have worked on. I'm working right now on the Queen of Night. I have sang some things from die Entführung aus dem Serail, el rapto en el serrallo. I've been Susanna. I have sang Solaria, a duet from the same opera. So every single time that I sing Mozart, it means fun. Probably it's not fun for everyone because it's virtuosistic. It doesn't matter where you take the music from, which point of view you want to take. It's complicated, but it's fun. It's beautiful. It's I don't know. I have no words. I love Mozart.
And maybe we should stop there for a second because you mentioned something that is very important, except for Constance and the Queen of the Night, and the other character, which I forgot her name in the same opera as Constance. Usually,
Blonde?
yeah, Mozart is not virtuosistic. Mozart is well. One thing before that, Mozart is not generous with the tenors. There is
Yeah.
one thing here and one thing there. I was thinking that maybe by the time he was alive, tenors had not a very important role in the opera. So he really, except for La Clemenza di Tito and I forgot the other famous opera where the tenor is the lead. I may recall it later. Except for those, the tenor really has nothing to do in Mozart's operas. Of course, you are going to say, no, but Pamino in the Magic Flute, but I know he has a part, but to say that his aria is the most important part of the whole Magic Flute, it's not true. It is the Queen of the Night. We were saying, or after we finished last programs, I was having this conversation with Katia, telling you that if you leave Papageno and the Queen of the Night out of the Magic Flute, nothing else no one else cares what happens on stage. So
No.
the tenor is there, but who cares about the tenor when you have the Queen of the Night with two splendid, super pyrotechnic arias and the two very, very lovely arias by Papageno and the duet with Papagena. I mean, that music is so lovely, but that's why I have so much trouble in trying to describe it because it is not lovely in the sense that we have, for instance, for Puccini, that you have those amazing melodies as for Liu or Madama Butterfly. That is not what we are talking about, and we are not talking about the beauty of singing as for the bel canto, but you have something that is very so very well put with not excesses anywhere except for the Queen of the Night and Constance that really go stratospheric, go where no one else
Yeah,
can reach. Except for those, if you also think of Papageno's areas are lovely, very melodic, with a very nice tune that you can recall in your mind. The accompaniment is not heavy. That's usually what you hear from Mozart. And there is a reason why not many people sing Mozart in recitals or concerts. And the thing is that since there are no high notes or long notes, singers say, well, people are not going to give me a very big applause for that. And the truth is that since people are used to wait for that high note at the end, when they listen to the last chords of the piano, they say, hey, is that all? And where is my high note? People are left like there is something missing. And for the singers who are into that also feel like something is missing. But if you happen to be, my teacher used to say, and I think I fully agree, that to sing Mozart, you do not really need voice, but you need musicality, which is
I agree.
something that not everybody is given. See, a voice, you can have a loud voice and get away with verismo. You can have a nice voice and get away with maybe Puccini and some bel canto. You may have stratospheric coloratura and you get away with bel canto. But if you are not a musical, that you don't have that musicality, you don't get away with Mozart. You really, really don't. Because that area that I could not find, the Vieni non tardar, and the aria by La Contessa in the same opera are, hmm, I don't know how to say Porgi, you know, you have to do it so softly, so perfectly, reaching that note that if you give full voice, as for what we are about to share with you, let me find where I wrote the page. Yeah, it's 54. If you see, you have to sing Figaro's aria Non più andrai farfallone amoroso. If you're a baritone and you want to sing it full voice, it's not going to work. Absolutely not going to work. Well, any tesitura, if you want to sing this full voice, it is not going to work. So, what singer wants to sing not with all his pasta, but trying to keep your pasta while you're trying to reach the notes and give this? For me, singing, even though pay attention for the people who read music, that there is not. And I don't know how they are called in English. These ligaturas, when you know that the two, you see them very often in Puccini. You have these long phrases that you must keep legato, telling you that you have to flow with the music. He doesn't give you any of that. But even though he doesn't give you any of that, people are not expecting you to sing Non piedrai farfallo amoroso. People are expecting to sing something very continuously, preciously sung Non piedrai farfallo amoroso in the same breath, even though it is not written. And if you're thinking that singing Mozart is easy because it doesn't have high notes, you're absolutely wrong. It's
No.
anything but easy. As I was telling you, not every singer can get away with Mozart. But those are
No.
my thoughts. Before we go to that area, what else would you like to share when you have your students and they say, "Oh, am I going to sing only Mozart and I'm not capable of singing something else?"
Oh, well, I don't know. I think that singing Mozart is like uh, tasting creme brulee. It's
Hmm.
soft, exquisite, simple but complicated. It is made of opposite point of views. Like you said, probably it seems like a very simple melodic line, but you have to float it, but not with your middle voice. Try it.
It really is difficult. It really is. And as we are about to go for non più andrai, why don't you tell people or share a little about what is going on stage and what this aria for Figaro is about?
Well, we have Cherubino, that is a teenager boy that has his hormones working at
Like any
1000.
adolescent.
Yes. And well, he wants to be with Susanna and the Countess and every single girl uh, at his hand. So, well, we know that Figaro is about to getting married with Susanna, and he catches him disturbing the ladies, and he suggests that Cherubino should go to the army and leave the girls alone. So he's telling in this moment, you won't be like a butterfly flying from here to there. You will do something with your life.
And it is on stage, it is a very funny, nice area, even though Figaro is somehow some sort of giving a reprimand on the Cherubino. But with the magic of Mozart, he really never sounds upset. He really doesn't. And you will excuse me because I will try it, but you will excuse me if I will move like I am dancing or anything. But it is so lovely for me the music that I really find it difficult to 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 just keep quiet. And even if there is no voice singing, the truth is that this aria is so absolutely beautiful that even the last chords by the piano are perfect. So you're about to
Yeah.
hear that. So I think I'm ready, or I hope I'm ready. If I don't have the score, how did we say that we call the atril in English? My score is over there.
Sorry.
The atril, how do we call that in English? I forgot.
Oh my God. I don't know.
Well, the music stands, or I don't know how to call that, but
The thing
that
over there.
the thing over there that people musicians usually use. That's what I have there, and I don't think I left the right page on the score. So I hope that doesn't play against me. So let's go for it. Non piangrai farfallone amoroso, notte e giorno intorno girando, delle vele turbando il ripasso, narcisetto adoncino d'amor. Delle vele turbando il ripasso, narcisetto adoncino d'amor. Non piavrai queste bei penachini, quel cappello leggero galante, quella chioma, quell'aria brillante, quel vermiglio d'onesco color, quel vermiglio d'onesco color. Non piovrai quei penachini, quel cappello, quella chioma, quell'aria brillante. Non piangrai farfallone amoroso,
notte e giorno d'intorno girando, delle vele turbando il ripasso, Narcisetto adoncino d'amor. Delle vele turbando il ripasso, Narcisetto adoncino d'amor. Tra i guerrieri per faco, gran mustacchi stretto sacco, schioppo in spalla, sciama in fianco, collo dritto, mosso franco, un gran casco, un gran turbante, molto onor, poco contante, poco contante, poco contante. Ed invece del fandango, una marcia per il fango, per montagne e per valloni, con le nevi soglioni al concerto di tromboni, di bomboni, di cannoni, e le pane con i toni all'orecchi fan fischiar. Non più avrai quei penachini, non più avrai quel cappello, non più avrai quella chioma, non più avrai quell'aria brillante. Non piangrai farfallone amoroso, notte e giorno d'intorno girando, delle vele turbando il ripasso, Narcisetto adoncino d'amor. Delle vele turbando il ripasso, Narcisetto adoncino d'amor. Che non vino alla vittoria, alla gloria militar, che rubino alla vittoria, alla gloria militar, alla gloria militar, alla gloria militar.
And I could hear that melody all night long. Oh, really, really. Maybe in a somehow obsessive way. But you know, the part, maybe we go a little over the text of Non più andrai. When it's I wanted also to share you what we said before, and it is very hard to explain that Katia was telling us the voices somehow floated, not in mezza voce, but not full pass. Which is a very difficult thing to explain. But imagine that you have a baritone that says "Non piangrai farfallone amoroso," but it has to be when Katia said float. It's more like "Non piangrai farfallone amoroso, notte e
Yeah,
giorno d'intorno girando, delle vele turbando il riposo, riposo." You see, it is like very funny, like if with the tip of your voice you were
it's
touching
like
those notes.
playing, but no.
Yeah, it's like playing, but it's like perfectly playing. I really don't know
Yeah,
how to explain that.
I was about to say that with Mozart you have to talk, but not like in verismo.
Yeah, not like embarrassment, of course. No, no, no.
But you talk. Do you agree?
Yeah, it is much really more. It is singing, yes, it's true, but yeah, it is like using the language in a perfect mixture with music to communicate something. Because you know that
Yeah.
usually in opera the rhythm and many things are exaggerated so that it makes sense with the orchestration. But here the orchestration is a nice complement. When you notice the music, Narcisetto adonci, turbando il riposo, Narcisetto adoncino d'amor. Then you have this beautiful chord. You see like and there are many places if you really pay attention to the music. These small pauses where the singer is not singing in those voice pauses, you have these beautiful, very beautiful ornaments.
Answers. The
Yeah,
music sings too. The music talks too. It's like a
And
puzzle, but like a perfect puzzle.
yeah, and for instance, the thing that I like very much when I was telling you, we cannot say that it is serious, even though it is serious, is the final part that I am looking for and that I have not reached on the screen. Yeah, here. When it starts, says, "Cherubino alla vittoria, alla gloria militar." The rhythm now it goes like a marcha. Tan, taran, tan, tan, taran, taran, tan, 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 taran. Bringing us the sense of this marcha of the army, but it is not a dramatic thing as Andrea Chenier, "Si fui
Hmm.
soldato," and something like that. It is very nicely put, and it gives you a full immersion in the change of mood that, yeah, we are sending this Cherubino to join the army so he stops bothering women. But it is so nicely done. In fact, the final part, I love it completely. But the final part is my favorite with "Cherubino alla vittoria, alla gloria militar, alla gloria militar." And if you notice, it is a very simple melody. He's not saying anything other than "alla gloria militar, alla gloria militar, alla gloria militar." But the music in the background is so nice. Tan, taran, tan, tan, tararan, tararan, tan, taran, that I really cannot. And right after he wraps up with this "alla gloria militar," and the music goes until the end of it is absolutely. It puts me in such a nice mood, like a relaxation. Like you have accomplished something so nicely without worrying about your high notes, without worrying about anything else, but something very lovely that you did. But now it's time to go for Katia to share something for us. So what is it that you are going to sing for our very favorite composer, that is Mozart?
Well, I'm about to share Durch Zärtlichkeit und Schmeichel from the Entführung aus dem Serail. I know it doesn't belong to Le Nozze di Figaro, but I have already shared with you the Vieni non tardar, and I wanted to perform something different. Um, Talking about this complicated issue that Mozart means. Uh, well, this area it is virtuosistic, but it's tender, but it's kind, and it's complicated because you have to float it. But with color, and well, I hope you enjoy it as much as I do. Durch Seligkeit versprochen, Gefälligkeit und Scherzen, erobert man in Herzen, der guten Mädchenlein, der guten Mädchenlein. Doch morgen es vergehen, und kommt der Sonntag und kommt der Sonntag
I can't believe it's over. I managed to put the score on the screen. For some reason, I thought that it had another repetition, but it doesn't.
No, it does.
But it shows just what I was telling you before. Mozart likes to wrap up his arias with no high notes at all. It happens
Mm.
just like that, like I don't know how to say, like suddenly the singer stops singing, and so the music goes for a couple more seconds, and that's
But
pretty much it. But what we just heard is a perfect example of what you said. Even if the soprano has the high notes, it is not sung full voice, because full voice loses the sense of the aria. This very nice opening, this very nice phrasing is to be sung like, also maybe like you said, like playing. If you notice the whole melodies, ta-da, ta-da-da-da-da-da-da, you see, like I don't know, like if you were daydreaming, like you
yeah,
were doing something like that. And even though this opera is also in the it's somehow a drama because it's also telling us something that is not
yeah.
very nice, but he manages to put this lovely piece in there. And I wanted to ask you, of the two female roles that are having written for stratospheric voices by Mozart, which one is your favorite?
Oh, oh no, I cannot choose. No, I love Martin Allen Arten too. Um, well, I think that I have a special feeling for Blonde, but I love both of them. I was thinking that we usually think of Mozart as funny, yes, as fun, but also as playing. You know, it is very known for the most of people that he had a very I lost the word bromista. He loved jokes. He loved to make jokes. There's some musical piece that is known as scherzo, like a joke, because you're expecting something and he finishes in a very different way of that expected issue. So I think that that joy, that cheerful personality is written in every single note of his music. It is a drama because the Entführung, it's um, it's a kidnapping.
Yeah.
So if you study the story, two ladies has been kidnapped by help me please.
You mean the let me go back to the names because I am very bad at names, but we
A
are about
pasha.
to. Yeah, by the Pasha. Yeah.
Yes, they have been kidnapped by the pasha. They have been sold to a kind of harem,
Mm-hmm.
and finally, well, it is a happy ending because they became rescued. But it's not a funny story if you analyze and think what's going on stage. But the music takes you to enjoy and to have fun. He makes fun of every situation.
Yeah, and in fact, the role of this guy that would be the bad guy of the movie, is in fact a funny character on stage, and he
Yeah.
basically doesn't sing. He's more of a spoken character, even though it is for a basso. He's more of a funny character, and at the end they make laugh of him. But even though he's cruel, even that cruelty, and I think that's part of the genius of Mozart. Even for a very cruel part, he's able to make it lovely, to make it enjoyable, like if the
Yeah.
drama was not there. And it because I don't want to say that making a drama out of a drama is easy, because it certainly is not, to manage the emotions, but to transmit the message of a drama through joyful music, it's certainly a challenge, certainly is. And I was also thinking, and I wanted to ask you, what are your thoughts on this? I was telling you earlier that Mozart usually writes with not much ornaments, not many high notes, not many long notes. He's usually he has a very, like, if you allow me to use expression, like a very compact way of writing. We were also mentioning that it as a natural speaking, that's the way he likes to compose. But his three ladies, the Queen of the Night, Constance, and Blonde, are completely the opposite. I think they are the highest, the continuously highest roles of all the opera literature. So how he
Yeah.
managed? Why did he decide that the Queen of the Night? Because he also in the same opera has Pamina, which is a very standard role, but the Queen of the Night
Yeah.
goes very high in the sky. Constance goes very high in the sky, and Blonde, as you just heard, also very high in the sky. Why do you think that she gave these extremely high notes to her three female characters?
I think that probably it has to do with the singer he fell in love with, because the highest note written in an opera is written for the Queen of the Night in der Hölle Rat, and there is also a higher note. There is a G in Vorrei spiegarvi, o Dio. I don't
I
know
I
if
don't think
that.
I've read the score sheet, but yeah, that could be.
Yeah, I think it's Vorrei spiegarvi, o Dio. It is a G. I mean, we are talking about an F in for the Queen of the Night, but a G in this another piece of music. Probably it has to do with the singer. Um, but I think that it's a kind of joke too. I don't know, a joke for who, because probably for the sopranos that cannot sing those notes.
That's anything but a joke.
I think so. Oh, thanks God I can.
We are getting close to the end of the program, and we haven't mentioned that the Queendom of the Night, the great favorite and the ultimate target of most sopranos, but which unfortunately is so high in the sky for most sopranos to even get closer. Even the most famous sopranos haven't sung it as written. They usually, sing it lower, little lower. It usually happens, or when they do, what happens with the coloratura voices is that they are usually very white. So you really don't believe a girl who sings like an adolescent, that she's the cruel queen of the night. Usually you don't believe it. When you listen to Mador Hovan version of the Queen of the Night, you really don't believe it's a cruel woman.
No, no, it is a complicated work because you're telling your daughter that she has to kill someone or the hell's anger is gonna explode against everyone. How can you say that when it sounds like I mean it's like black and white in the same idea, and it is a dramatic piece of music, but it is written like allegro assai.
Yeah, And before we get engaged in talking about the Queen of the Night, because now that people have heard that you sing the Queen of the Night, I am pretty sure they are expecting some of the Queen of the Night for today's.
Probably I would.
But before we go again into the stratospheric way of writing, let's go back to the earth. Let's go back to normal, and let's go back to how difficult but nice
Mortal.
it is to for singers. And I have heard many, 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 many famous mezzos. And it is time to talk about the Cherubino, this adolescent who wants to be a lover of any woman who approaches him. But we have to say that it is one of the first roles where a woman actually portrays a man. I have read some comments on these roles that are called travestitos because instead of a man, it is by a woman. And I am not so sure about what I have read. They say that it is better sung by a mezzo because it is not still a man. He's an adolescent, so his voice it will be
Is
changing,
wider.
so he sounds lighter, but I don't think as lighter as a mezzo, given as we have mentioned before that there are many mezzos whose voice is more powerful than many tenors. So, because I
That's right.
recall having heard Giulietta Simeonato singing Cherubino, and she used to sing with Callas, so
I
they
don't
went for the.
imagine Agnes Balsa singing Cherubino.
And there are many mezzos which are excellent mezzos, but mezzos for verismo, mezzos for something else. But for singing cherubino, if you allow me, and it's just a matter of perspective. From my perspective, the best cherubino that I have heard is Frederica von Stade. For me, Frederica really nails it. In one hand, because Frederica doesn't have this huge mezzo's voice that sounds like Carmen, like you know what we shared last week. She doesn't sound like that Carmen. So with that nice mezzo voice, she sings it. From my perspective, the best version of this aria is if we are to keep that understanding that a man who hasn't changed his voice has to be sung by a woman. I'm not sure about that. The same as in Balo in Máscara. Oscar los amanolera, tralalalala. That is the other famous travestito role. But personally, I don't know. I don't feel so comfortable about, because I also read a comment that they say that provided he's an adolescent, his behavior must be more than manly, like a female. So I don't know. I think we are overthinking everything for something that Mozart was already playing with. And before we go to that, and so that we have enough time for listening to the Queen of the Night, I was telling you that we go back to Earth. As going back to Earth, it's going to be Cherubino. And notice that the name Cherubino isn't by accident. He gave that name on purpose, because you know that the cherubims in the if you are a believer in the Christian or Catholic, the cherubims mean something very special,
Kind of angel.
kind of angel. So that's that. I think we also find there that Mozart is playing with the name as well. So that is Cherubino and this very lovely melody that, provided that we don't have a mezzo in the program, I will have to go with it. So, but remember that a mezzo sings it is no warranty that it will sound as well. I also insist on what we shared before. This aria has to be sung also like floated. You give full voice and everything is spoiled. It has to be lovely, floated, not all the pasta in there, and giving the best so that you sound, your musicality matches Mozart's proposal. So let's listen how it goes.
Voi che sapete che senza voler, partito e tremo senza saper, non trovo pace, non te ne di, ma pur mi piace languir così. Voi che sapete che cosa amor, non ne vedete, sia io nel cor, non ne vedete, sia io nel cor, non ne vedete, sia io nel cor.
That very lovely wrapping up of Zoni Vedete. You, if you could tell me if love is what I have in my heart. And that is the innocent Cherubino who has been with every woman who approaches him trying to get her love. But let's go back to the stratospheric heights of the Queen of the Night because, as I was telling you, it's one of the most desired roles by every soprano. It is the role that every soprano wants to sing, even if she is five notes lower than what is actually written. Because
Yeah.
because people think that the only difficult part is that you have the high notes.
Trust me, it's not.
That would be the easy part because if you have the notes, you have the notes. But the is very special sound of the Queen of the Night, how you give that strength without sounding ridiculous, without really sounding funny, because when you are playing with your notes, it is very easy to think that it is just like, like Olympia, like the
No,
doll
no.
playing it, and it is not like that. And for me, if the Queen of the Night does not sing her opening aria well, you lost it.
Yeah,
Because
that's
if
right.
you did it well in your first area, then people know how or are expecting even more for your second area. Which, by the way, I haven't asked you if you are singing us the first or the second aria by the Queen of the Night. The second one. Or the two of them.
No, no, no. The second one,
Okay.
please. You
Okay.
wanna kill me?
Okay, so Katia already told us what it is going to be about. The very kind Queen of the Night is asking her daughter to kill her father. Well, a very cruel message, but you have to watch the whole area for that. And what we are about to hear is pure virtuosism, notes that are very, very high in the stratosphere, and a very lovely melody that has been part of the soundtrack of many, 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 many movies in history.
Yeah. Well, let's pray for this.
I'm not praying.
I
I mean, I don't.
I am. Der Holy Rage, not in meinem Herzen. Ah, unversehlich. Ah, unversehlich. Du mich wenn ich orde, sarà de schmerzen, sarà de schmerzen, so bist du so bist du
So you just heard one of the, as I was saying, one of the most desired roles by every soprano, but that is, how many years do you think it takes to sing it fairly well?
Poof. I would say that at least in my case, uh, 8 years of academic study and probably another 6 months to prepare it as it should be. I mean, in those first 8 years, your vowel level should be ready to approach and face a piece of music like this one that is one of the probably most difficult arias ever written, and also the time to study, to check every note is right, that you are singing every note, to give the intention, to take care of the line. Yeah, I would say that like I don't know, let's be optimistic, 3 months.
So, people, if you want to sing it fairly well, be ready to invest more than 5 years, I would say.
Yeah.
So, with that very, I don't know what adjective, I don't say surprising, that amazing interpretation of the Queen of the Night by Katia, we want to say you to tell you that we really want to thank you for having shared these melodies by Mozart today. I would be singing or listening or watching Mozart through, as I was telling you, maybe all night long. Hope you
Yeah.
have these with these several pieces that we shared today. You have more of an overview of what Mozart's writing composition style was, and of course, I know that if you happen to pay more attention to his music, I'm pretty sure you will fall in love pretty much as we have done ourselves. What else would you like to tell or to sing us?
Oh my God, I would like to sing the second part of the aria. Probably I will. And well, Mozart is as complicated as his music, or his music is as complicated as Mozart. Let's remember that there are several studies that mention the benefits that his music has on health, on our minds, our brains. So it's not just like he sounds beautiful. I mean, he does, but there are so many other things behind. I think that we should dedicate a season of our podcast just to talk about Mozart.
We certainly. So, and let me tell you that to wrap up today's program with the second part of the Queen of the Night is nothing you will be able to hear anywhere else. So, people, pay attention to this, and of course, we thank in advance Katia for sharing this jewel that Mozart wrote for the most difficult role in the writing of history of opera.
Okay, let's go ahead.